Getting your first ever web design client can be a super intimidating process. Doing anything significant for the first time is a huge challenge. So I'm going to make things easier for you by breaking down a proven method for getting new clients into 3 simple steps. It involves getting in touch with people you already know, and I'm going to share the exact text message that I sent to my friends when I was just starting out that led to a $4,500 client website project. If you implement what I'm about to share, you might even be able to book a new client in the next few days. Hey, I'm Danbee. I'm a web designer and a global inclusion specialist based in Seoul, South Korea. Your first client could give you the confidence and the reassurance that you need to quit your day job and go full-time as a web designer. That was my experience. Or your first client could help pay for something that you need to grow as a web designer, like a laptop. Or your first client could mean something else entirely. Whatever getting a new client means to you, I want to help you make it happen soon. The method that I want to share with you for getting your first client is reaching out to people you already know and asking them to introduce you to 2 different kinds of people. The first kind is someone who could be a client for you. The second kind is someone who knows other people who could be clients for you. So let's get into it. Step 1 is making a list of all the people you could potentially ask for help. Think of this as brainstorming. You know how in the brainstorming phase of any design project, you're focusing on getting the ideas out of your brain? The point isn't to analyze or criticize or defend any of these ideas, right? So that's what we're doing here. I prefer using pen and paper, but you could use any method that you like for getting ideas out of your brain and onto some sort of physical or digital paper. We are making a list of all the people you could potentially reach out to. No one is going to see this list unless you show it to them. So when you think of a name, try not to hold yourself back from writing it down. Here are some people categories that might help you get the ball rolling. Your immediate family, your extended family, friends you see for coffee or drinks or dinner, other fun things like that, people from what I call activity groups like sports, book clubs, volunteer work, old classmates from school or college or university or other educational contexts, teachers or professors or other staff from your school, co-workers who you used to work with or who you work with now, neighbors, or your partner's friends. This might be super easy for you and you might end up with pages and pages of names. If this is the case for you, awesome. I say keep going until you want to stop. If you end up with about 50 names, I say you can definitely stop. If this exercise feels uncomfortable or difficult, try setting a timer for 10 minutes and just focusing on putting names down. I find the timer really helpful when I'm trying to do things that are challenging, not because of the actual task, but because of the emotions and the thoughts and feelings that are associated with the exercise, and the timer helps me not give up so quickly. You might find it helpful to open up Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you can skim through your personal network, just to remind yourself of all the people you know. Just make sure that you stay focused on the task instead of getting sidetracked by the scroll. Fun story, a friend of mine actually landed a big project after doing this because the new client could see that she had viewed their profile and they got in touch with her first, and that conversation led to a new project. Obviously, a super unique situation, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen to you, but I think this is a really great reminder of what is possible when we just take small action steps. You'll know that you've completed step 1 once you have at least 15 names on your list. I would encourage you to aim for 30 or more. Danbee's number says that each of us can maintain stable and meaningful relationships with about 150 people. I'm not asking for 150 names, I'm just asking for 15. Once you have those names on your list, move on to step 2. Step 2, from your list, choose 3 to 5 names to contact. This might be easier if you first eliminate the people you definitely don't want to contact. This could include people you've had bad experiences with and don't want to talk to, and this can be true even if you've had friendly relationships with them at some point in the past. People you aren't particularly interested in or care about. People who you know do not support you or your business. You can cross these people out from your list. You do not need them. Then circle the names of people who you'd rather contact. people who you'd be happy to hear from, even if it's been years since you last talked, people you would want to help and want good things for, people who have been supportive, whether it's been about your web design business or other things you've done or wanted to do in the past. And then look at the names that are circled and choose 3 to 5 people. If you have lots of circled names, make your life as easy as possible and choose people you've talked to in the past year or so, however briefly, and choose people who you know you can get in touch with. So people where you have a good idea of the best way to reach them, whether that's over a text or a DM or a phone call or something else. You'll know that you've completed step 2 when you have your 3 to 5 names of people you are going to contact. Step 3, as you probably have already guessed, is to reach out to the people you chose in step 2. For each message, there are 5 things that you need to mention. 1, you started a web design business and are focused on getting more clients. 2, you make websites for X, for example, small businesses. 3, you are looking for Y number of new clients by Z date. 4, you want them to introduce you to a potential client or someone who might know potential clients. And 5, they can make those introductions in whatever way is easiest for them. So here's the text that I ended up sending to a few of my close friends. Hey Alex, hope you and the fam are well. I've been loving your new house updates. I have some exciting news to share. I started my own web design business. I'm at the point now where I'm getting super focused on landing more clients so I can give notice at my day job and work for myself full time. Hope you don't mind me reaching out like this. I thought of you because you always know great people and I'd really love your help. I make websites for small businesses and I'm looking to book 3 projects between now and September. Does anyone come to mind that you could introduce me to? Someone who might need a new website or know other people who might? It would be awesome if you could link me up with them over email or text, whatever is easiest and makes the most sense. Thanks so much. Heart emoji. I'm sharing this with you because I know that it can be so much easier to write your own stuff when you have an example to work with. And I'm happy for you to borrow this exact phrasing, but for this to be effective, you actually want to tweak it and edit it so that the message reflects what you would say and how you would say it. You are leaning on your relationship with this person. That is unique to the two of you, and you know best how to approach this conversation. And depending on your dynamic and preferences, you might actually want to arrange to hop on a phone call or meet in person to have this conversation instead of sending a message. You'll know that you've completed step 3 once you've sent a personal message to each of the people that you chose in step 2. The ideal outcome is that one of the people you reach out to gets back to you saying something like, "It's so awesome that you're running your own business. I actually do know someone who's looking for a web designer. I will send you both an email." Then you can take it from there and invite that person, the potential client, to the next step in your process. For me, that is a sales call. A sales call is basically a video call where the client and I get to know each other well enough to make a decision about whether to work together. If you want to learn more about how I run my sales calls, check out the link in the description to my sales call script template. Another great possible outcome is that one of your 3 to 5 people gets back to you saying something like, "That is really cool about your new business. I don't know anyone who's looking for a web designer right now, but my friend so-and-so is really well connected in this space, and I think you should talk because they probably know someone. I will send the both of you a text." Then you chat with the connector person and share enough about yourself and your business so that they can link you up with potential clients. If you get stuck on step 3, here are a couple of things that helped me get unstuck and hit send. First thing, as a family, my immediate family, we are not super social and we don't know a lot of people. And any business owner that my parents might have been able to introduce me to would have been Korean speaking. And this wouldn't have worked for me because I knew that I wanted to work in English. So I knew from the get-go that I had to look outside of my family, and that meant my friends. The thing about my friends is that they're scattered all over the world, and partly for that reason, we don't talk very often. And I felt this resistance when it came to reaching out to them for help because I did not want to be that person who, after ages and ages, gets in touch just because they need something. What helped me get over this resistance is realizing that if any one of them was starting a new business and that is the reason that they were reaching out after being out of touch, I would actually be really happy to hear from them and I would want to do what I could to help them out. So my question for you is, how would you feel if one of the people on your list reached out to you asking for help? If you would be happy to help them, is it possible that they would be just as happy to help you if you reached out? Here's the second thing. If your upbringing or education was anything like mine, reaching out to people you have personal relationships with and asking for help is gonna be at least a little bit awkward. I was trained to and got really good at getting help from people like my professors, employers, senior executives, basically people in positions of power with very clear and formal roles. But I never really learned to get help from people who were the closest to me, my family, my friends, people in my community. And that is not by accident. Throughout my life, in implicit and explicit ways, I was taught that these people couldn't help me achieve professional success. But one of the biggest lessons that I learned from navigating the startup scene, trying to get investments, and climbing the corporate ladder at huge conglomerates is that the people at the very top with the most power, with the most money, so your venture capitalists, your angel investors, your CEOs and other top executives, your board members, they are really good at getting what they want in their work lives through their personal connections. And of course, the two are very much intertwined. They have people that they can depend on to get what they want, whether that's signing a new client or getting a seat at an important discussion or getting in on a new investment opportunity. In my opinion, based on my experience, getting help from your personal network is a skill that so many of us lack. And again, it's not by accident, but it is holding us back. So that was a bit of a tangent, but I hope that it gives you a little bit of a nudge and some encouragement to practice strengthening your relationships and practice asking for help. Okay, having said all of that, I want to acknowledge that this method for getting a new client might not be a good option for you. This might not be a good option for you if you don't feel safe reaching out to anyone in your personal network because, as far as you're aware, they do not support you. It could also be that your friends and family only know people who expect you to work for free because of that personal connection. I personally don't believe in working for free, and that might be the case for you too. Or it could also be that you have a really clear idea of the kind of businesses that you want to build websites for, and you know that your network can't help with that. In that case, this method is not going to work for you either. If any of this sounds like you and you feel comfortable sharing, leave me a comment and tell me a little bit about your situation and why this method isn't going to work for you. I might be able to help. I hope you try this method out, and if you do, tell me in the comments how it all went. And if after reaching out to your personal network, you get a chance to sign a new client, you might have questions about how much money to charge them. If this is you, check out my video about choosing the perfect price. I will leave a link to it somewhere where it's easy for you to find. All right, that is all for today, and I'll talk to you soon.